Aloha all. Welcome to another installment of Notes from Japan. Again, my name is Stephen Taizen Kasano, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Meri notes. So, one of the things that Ishikawa was talking about in my lessons when I was living in Japan was that the Meri notes usually tend to need to be lower and also need to be louder. Now again, this is unique to the Yokoyama Katsuya style of playing. So again, if you're taking lessons with someone, you do what your instructor says. There's so many different branches and so many different schools of thought on this. But I'm just telling you my experience in this particular style of Ishikawa Toshimitsu and Yokoyama Katsuya. So yeah, so what was happening with my playing is I was kind of getting almost down to the Meri notes, but the sound was very tiny. And what he wanted was, again, this kind of open sound, even when we're playing Meri notes, which is very, very hard to do. And what was amazing about Yokoyama Sensei is that, in a big auditorium or recital hall, his Meri notes were still able to project. And this is in relation to what we're going to be talking about today. So, for example, let me do this. Let me play the opening of Honshirabe. So that oo to oo daimeri, because oo's already meri, still needs to be relatively strong. So it's not necessarily going to be a clean and pure sound. So if you hear a player like Yamaguchi Goto, who just get this beautiful, pristine, beautiful tone, that's not quite what the Yokoyama style is about. So this one's a little bit of a dirtier, grittier sound. So it's okay if it's a little bit fuzzy. Versus again, that's just kind of a different style. Not one is better than the other. It's just you got to go according to the school that you're working in. So two things in that opening line of Honshirabe is when we have that first kamuri, when we go tsurei rei. One of the things I was tending to do with the kamuri sound is I was doing it too fast, and I wasn't going deep enough. So that's the first thing that he would usually discuss with me. So in order for me to get deep enough on that kamuri, what I do is I actually relax the lip a little bit so the pitch drops and I could get lower in the kamuri. So I'm not staying tight the whole time. In other words, one of the things that Ishikawa talked about is there has to be a certain flexibility with the lip as you're playing. We're always making subtle adjustments. So the lips aren't just locked. There's always adjustments you have to make, even going from note to note on the flute. Not every note feels the same way with the lip, so you have to have a certain flexibility with the lip. It's always, your lips are always making subtle adjustments. So that's the first thing. But that opening phrase of Honshirabe is making sure your kamuri is getting down low enough pitch-wise. All right, and then the next we have the oo. So when you go ooh, when you go to that first ooh, you still want to think re in your head and just think ever so slightly above re. And that way the ooh doesn't end up being too high. So think tsure re, and then when you're about to go to ooh, still think re, and then just think a little bit above that, and then you'll get your ooh in the proper pitch. And then when you drop down to the U Daimeri, then you should be the same pitch as your opening day. So really, in this whole opening phrase, there's only two pitches, right? If I'm playing on a 1.8, it would be they would be G pitch, then almost A flat pitch, and then going back to G. So in this whole phrase, is really just two sounds we're dealing with here. So I'll play the opening phrase again. So all of that oo material that I played was just almost as loud as what I was doing with today. So it does have a little bit of a fuller sound. Okay. The other thing that Ishikawa talked about is don't shade your medi notes with the finger. For example, if I'm going oo, he wanted me to just use my head. I have a little bit of a habit of shading. Sometimes my finger's moving and it's really not actually accomplishing anything. So that's just a habit of, after playing for, 25 years or so, I kind of got in the habit of doing. So you could, really you have to just depend on your head movement and your medi technique. The second time I shaded, it was the same sound, so it doesn't really matter. So in essence, you could just depend on your head and your lip movement to get those medi pitches properly. All right. So basically, when we're playing medi pitches, you want to keep the volume open and full. It might be a little bit dirtier sound. It might not be clean, but that's okay. Just think, try to catch the center of that medi note. Play with the open sound. Make sure you're getting low enough. And even when you have those kamuris, you have to make sure you drop low enough. So don't do them too fast where it's kind of a shallow. So you want to, you want to get that nice and low for the kamuri sound at the very beginning. So watch the depths of your kamuri. Make sure that your medi sounds are still as full as you can get them. And make sure they're low enough. Okay? So hopefully that helps. Good luck on your shakuhachi journey, and I'll see you on the next installment of Lessons from Japan. Aloha. Take care.